Hi, this is Mika Gobig of Go Big Coaching and Communications, and welcome to part 2 of 5 Steps to Greater Confidence. The second step we're dealing with today is convey. If you haven't seen the first video yet, go back and watch that first, okay? Because that's how we dive in. That's where we dive in first. I have a little follow-up to that first video. So last time we talked about where you lack in confidence, where your triggers are, and what you see in others, the confidence you want to have. And I hope you did your homework. There was a download, a worksheet that has the questions. So now I have a follow-up question to that. And that is, are you willing to let go of those old stories and beliefs? You have probably identified a few of them by now. Examples like, I am not good with money, girls are not supposed to take the limelight, I'm supposed to support people, all these stories. And there is a reason why you have them. Because you picked them up when you were younger, but they served a purpose. They probably served a purpose to keep you safe within whatever your environment was. So it is a totally justified question to ask if you're ready to let them go. Because they might still make you feel safe. But chances are that a lot of these stories are stories you don't need anymore to keep you safe. Most of these stories probably hinder you these days and not serve you. So I want you to go back to those stories and really think about it. Do they still serve you? If so, leave them alone. It's okay. But if they hinder you, that is something you want to work on. And really the question is, what would change if you give them up? What would change if you let them go? For instance, there is maybe a downside to you letting go of a story that you were on the support team in your family, not on stage. Because if you allow yourself to show up more confidently and take a more leading role, then you'll also potentially have more responsibility for certain things. There's always a kind of a price to pay. And so you need to be aware of what that is. What are you giving up? What are you gaining? What does it cost you, basically? And you might want to think about how others will respond if you really, really work on increasing your confidence. Because you might run into some negative feedback and you need to be prepared for it. That's okay that people are not on board with it, but just be prepared for it. All right, that much as a follow-up to our first video and the negative stuff. And now we are looking into the positive stuff. Now we're diving in. All right, number 2, convey. And what I want you to remember here, most of all, is that confidence is a transferable skill. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is truly something you can choose and create for yourself. And that said, it means you can transfer it from one situation, from one period in your life to another. Question is how, right? And that's what we're doing next. So what we have here is you will need to dive deep again. That's what these videos are about, giving you like the questions, the guidelines to do that deep dive. Think about it. When did you feel the most confident? So we started with the negative situations. Now we're going to the positive. And again, use the worksheet, download the worksheet to fill that in. When were you at your most confident? When are you at your most confident today? And please do not limit yourself. So if, for instance, the thing that comes to mind is dancing tango, please go with that. It does not have to be a professional situation, even if you want to build confidence in your professional life, because as I said, it's transferable. Also, it does not have to be something very recent. My anchor story, anchor situation, as I call it, is something from my childhood. Me ice skating. I've told this story before in my newsletter, so I'll spare you that right now. But it is a story from when I was in 3rd grade. So it does not matter what the anchor story is. What matters is that it's a story that makes you really, really feel confident. For me, it's a story in which I feel independent and badass. That's my story, where I can close my eyes and feel that energy. And I use that story. I tell it to myself over and over again to train my brain to really get to know that feeling. I personally do that when I brush my teeth, because I am able to brush my teeth without actually concentrating on it. So that gives me a 2-minute window to work on my confidence twice a day. Maybe that's a good window for you too. Maybe it's something else. But regularly go over different stories first to see which one sticks best. And then decide on your anchor story and really train yourself to go fully into the feeling, into the details, as much as you can. And maybe you can set a reminder or a mantra that builds on that story. So for me, the thing I usually focus on with my little mantra is, I figured so many things out. I'll figure that one out too. Because that is something my brain, no matter how negative it wants to be, there is no way around the fact that I have figured out a lot of things in my life. So that is something which I can always use. And for you, it might be, I'm a quick learner. I always connect well with people. I am so organized. It can be something that you really know about yourself. That is something you can use as a little mantra to support the anchor situation. Doesn't have to be the same, but just really to put you on solid ground here. And then work on that really, I would say every day, but then use it when you have situations that you know will make you nervous. So if you have worked on that for a little while, then really, before you go into a job interview, a presentation, whatever those critical moments are, really go into your anchor situation and roll with your mantra, and then really feel yourself into that situation, and then go ahead. So this is a starting point. This is not something that will work overnight. But I want you to start thinking about your anchor situation, your mantra, I don't know, I don't want to call it superpower, but that is the reminder of a thing your brain cannot argue with. Think about these things now, and next week I'm telling you a little more about how to apply it. Thank you. See you there.